Hello, stream. How are you? I'm Tracy. This is Adrian.
Hello.
And yeah, so you may notice that we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons today, which is what we are normally doing at this time. Um, Unfortunately, we had a number of cancellations. This is something that happens always when you have live people in the same place. So we did is we thought we'd set up and we'd do a couple things. Um, Sadly, we don't get to level our characters. Um, but we're going to do a couple things that we promised that we would do for sure. And that was that we were going to give away some of the miniatures that we got for this week's session. If we have any duplicates, but at least we're going to do a box opening, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll add them to our collection. And then, which makes it sooner that you are going to be able to get your own when it happens, when we finally do get duplicates. And then we're going to talk about some of the news about D&D and role-playing games that are coming out. But more or less, we're here to apologize that we're not going to have that session tonight. We are coming back in 2 weeks, though, so there is that. And then she'll be able to play Ethel once again. You haven't been with us the last couple sessions. What's been going on with that?
I have a job.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate truth of life, is that there's jobs and other stuff that we have to attend to. Unfortunately, again, we're all adults, so friends have kids, and family members being in town. So it's just a weird start of the year. But all that said and done, I still intend to honor our agreement to you guys that if you're watching, you might be able to get some miniatures. So let's take a look at that. And let's see here. Now, how do I do this without breaking something? I totally do. I wouldn't lie. Look at that. Look at that. See, magic. Technological magic. My drink goes over here. I did see somebody followed us. I forget who that was. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Glad for the follow. Always nice to see people who do enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. We totally do play board games. I swear to God. You can even see the surface up there. And sometimes the lovely Adrian does join us for a board game or two, and not just Dungeons and Dragons.
Waiting for Scrabble night.
Right?
Trivial Pursuit. That's my jam.
Angry Dad Gamer. Why are you so angry, Dad? So there's 44 figurines. How many do we have of those? I know.
12? 14?
14? We have a bunch. We have...
No, more than that.
I think
Oh, God, we have a lot.
No, I think we do have just about 14. So let's see.
14.
Hold on a second here. I'm going to bring them to the table. Just going to load them up.
Ooh. Sorry about that. I'm not used to having this thing attached to my face.
I don't like those ones. Those ones aren't good. I like the ones that I just got, but I'd have to replace the other ones. So look at me, I'm just like walking around in front of the camera. I was doing the news anchor thing, and I was pretending that you couldn't see my legs. So you weren't supposed to actually know that I was in sweats. Sorry, guys. Well, if you're not really that angry, why are you? I mean, that seems like a misrepresentation.
It's a Simpsons reference.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Bart did the cartoon Angry Dad that was based on Homer, obviously.
Ah. And Reapstar. Have you followed yet, Reapstar? All right, now the first thing is that...
I'm not wearing sweatpants, just so
Yeah.
people know. I put on
She
normal
actually
clothes.
put on clothes.
Yes.
She respects you a whole lot more than me. So here's the first important thing, is that we've been getting a lot of dragons in our set. So if you... Let me back this out a little bit. If you are hoping to score a free red dragon from the Icons of the Realm set, or possibly a black shadow dragon, or maybe a brass dragon, copper dragon. Is that brass or copper? Brass.
Yeah, I would call that brass.
I think it's brass. Bronze. That's what that one is. That's bronze. It says it right here.
Duh.
It's totally bronze dragon. So if you want like awesome flyers, stick around, because it's very likely that if we get a dupe of those, we're gonna give them away. And the thing is that like there's only 44. I'm trying to like coordinate. There's only 44 figures, as you can see, and we're gonna
Your career as a weatherman would suck.
I know. I'm like it's totally backwards. I'm messing up here. All right, so we also have Pegasus. and a bunch of other stuff. We've got the Red Cloak guys. So these guys are the Red Brand Ruffians, I think. Yeah. Now this is Zentarine Bandit. Were you here for the Red Brand Ruffian part? Did you do a bunch of the Mines of Phandelver?
I think I did some of that. Yeah? Yeah. Was that where the Magic Forge was?
That is exactly what the Magic Forge
Then yes.
was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you guys, did you get a stake in the Magic Forge?
I think we all split like a share in that.
That's good.
Yeah.
So like at some point soon, you guys are just going to get like a message from a bank that you're going to get a bunch of money. So there's a Hobgoblin Fighter. So you got one of those. There's a big Orc Fighter, I think. So it's an Orc Fighter, very large looking fellow. And these are all scaled to 1 inch equals 5 feet. I don't know what exactly like size human beings scaling that is, but that's kind of where they're at. And there's this.
So if they made one of me, I'd be 1 inch tall.
What the hell? So this says like Grog Orc Fighter. I don't know what that means. What's a Grog Orc?
Ah, he's awesome looking.
He's big. And then there's a human paladin and an invisible dwarf. Now they also have like alternate variants too, I think, which means that this is like you got the invisible dwarf cleric. So this would normally would have paint on it, but at the moment it is clear. So that's actually a little bit more valuable than the others. This is the tiefling thief, which
That's me.
can play. You can play as that next time we play. And we got an elf druid. So if any of those come up right now, I will give one of them to people in chat right now. So, doo-doo-doo.
I'm gonna just to have it. I'm gonna throw the chat on.
Okay. Well, the chat would be on that screen.
Oh,
right
so
there.
it's coming up like no
it's
matter.
just not.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just
okay.
no one's talking.
No problem. Then forget it.
Yeah, forget you guys.
It's not happening.
They're not feeling very social tonight, apparently.
We're not being that exciting. Although this is pretty exciting.
I don't-
Nobody gets it. We get to keep it because we don't have one. But
Right, we have a new dragon. So guess what, you guys? You don't get it tonight. What, Trudoc?
that's it. We're just getting haze.
Hey.
Hey.
So you prove my case.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have a copper dragon. This is an actual copper dragon. It looks very gold though. I feel like this could substitute as a gold dragon. So what we discovered, actually Adrian told me, was that when these things come in their box, you will note that their wings are rather flattened out and gross. And what did you tell me how to do?
Well, I put it under the bookshelf and flattened it down that way. But the heat gun worked very well.
Yep.
If you have access to a heat gun, or if you can't be trusted around a heat gun, even a hairdryer set on high can kind of help. The thing is, if you do that to bend the wings into the position they need to be, quench them, cool them very quickly so they'll keep the shape.
So there is our new copper dragon.
Oh, he's kind of got an interesting pose going on there.
Yeah, and like they are true to like the style. Like I don't know if you guys are, if you follow like the artwork in the games, but like, like the old Elmore art for like the dragons, like the black dragons have these big like curving horns, and the red dragons have like sweep back horns and stuff, and you can see that the dragons look a lot like kind of like how D&D represents it. So there we go, Copper Dragon. But by the way, the other thing that I learned, which is kind of cool, they have a game out now called Attack Wing, I think it is. But it's basically it's D&D. Thank you, Wild Noggin. Thank you. We're trying to bring some actual gaming, well, analog gaming to the world. Yeah, because no video gaming,
All games are equally accepted.
So, all right, it's Copper Dragon. Now, the thing is you can actually swap the bases on these with you know, the click spaces that the Hero Wing thing goes on, or you can make your own base for it, and then add these to a Hero Wing game. You don't have to buy the other things. They do cost more with the unique bases on
That's
them.
got to be another halfling. That dude's tiny.
He looks small. I don't think. No, it doesn't look.
No.
I think he's a goblin.
Yeah.
It
Seriously,
it is a goblin fighter.
halflings and goblins are the same size?
Goblins are actually a little bigger than halflings.
Dude,
So there you go.
why are we so tiny?
I don't know. Do you want to have that discussion right now?
No.
I don't know. Okay, now our party has encountered a bunch of these so far. What that is?
It's a dead guy.
No. It is a doppelganger.
Oh, oh.
The only thing is that I need like 10 of these, right? Like, or like, you know, for like the goblins, like we killed so many goblins that I would need like 15 goblin ones. Yeah, thanks, Mikey G. Yeah, we are indeed on the main page. We've been lucky enough to get on there. And you know, and the thing is that every other week we do a live tabletop gaming show, and we are going to put up a couple more shows in the near future. So we're going to have like, you know, we're going to have some retro gaming. We're going to have some more board gaming. Last week we did Munchkin, as you can probably see right there. And then, you know, we have other games coming up too. We have Talisman next week.
Oh, someone wrote an essay.
Oh yeah, and we have monsters.
Yeah, I can't. That's why I'm going to pull that up on my phone.
I don't know. I didn't. I didn't ban you for 10 minutes, mate. Don't stress. But I hope whatever is stressing you out someday is alleviated and you no longer feel that same stress, bro. They do seem like they're scaled pretty well. Like, yeah, again, I think that they're scaled like exactly 5 feet equals an inch, right? So like, here's a person, and these are 5 feet. So this person is about 6-something foot tall, and it is a human female barbarian. So she could probably be tall, and she's got kind of like severe German-looking features.
Very severe German-looking.
Her eyebrows.
Does she have a unibrow?
She has a giant black unibrow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty rad.
Yep.
So she can kick your ass.
Anybody could kick my ass.
Yes, Wild Noggin, we do play with a larger group of people. Normally, the group is about, we have 5 players, and we have myself as the DM. So you can go back and look at our archive if you want, and we do have some stuff highlighted. So again, every other week, we play Dungeons & Dragons, or we play tabletop. Unfortunately, tonight, as a matter of circumstance, our players were unable to make it to the game. So we're just going to kind of go over a few things and talk about D&D. And if you guys have any questions about 5e, we've been playing it now for about 6 months. It's been super fun. You know, Adrian has never played D&D before up until this point. And like, what do you think about it so far? Are you having a time? Or
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I chose a relatively simple character. I think if I had chosen a magic-based character, I'd be a little more lost. But I'm a halfling rogue thief, and she's pretty straightforward, and she's really easy to work with. And involving myself in what's going on has been pretty simple and not too intimidating. I also get sent off alone a lot because I have certain skills that work for scouting, so I'm okay with that too. That's been all right. So
she has certain skills that she can hunt you down. She will find you.
Yes, I have a particular set of skills. But it's been great, and it was intimidating because, especially as a girl, you know, I've wanted to play for a long time and have been denied playing for a very long time. So just not being accepted into a group for a while made it kind of intimidating because I was like, well, this must be really complicated. And it's not. It's just that, people are very selective with who they want to play with.
They are,
So,
which is reasonable, right? Like you definitely want to have a party of people that gets along, that doesn't argue too much. I do want to address though, BHaze 53. BHaze 53 dragons do come in male and female formats. You need to know that. Tiamat's a female. She's the queen of the chromatic dragons. Those are the red, blue, green, whatever ones. And then the metallic dragons, and it depends on which world you're playing in, of course, because Dragonlance, his name is Paladine. Anyway, long story short.
you may have to provide your own penis, though.
You may
Yes.
have to sculpt, but I was going to suggest that if you look at the dragon itself in profile there, you could potentially use like Plasti Sculpt or something and, do what you want. Totally your call. And maybe your game turns into something different than most people's games.
That's
Which is
fine.
which is totally cool too. That's the best part about playing tabletop games with your friends is that you can do it the way you want. So here's some options, right? And like this is something that I was kind of going to get into tonight. And one of those things is that there are tools that you can use. Like we've been using Roll20. I don't know, you kind of have some pluses and minuses about Roll20.
I'm a little mixed on Roll20. I just feel like grabbing my character sheet is quicker, honestly, if I pull out my character sheet to reference any information I need, versus Roll20, where especially if you have a lot of people in one room, we were kind of lagging a little bit last time we were using it, and so a decision that I could just quick glance and make was taking a little bit more time because you're waiting for the page to come up. And I actually just got up and went to the bookshelf at a certain point because I'm not that patient. It's nice you have the maps there and you can move your characters independently, and it has its definite benefits. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, I think.
It has some bugs and things that but the cool thing is that you can use it for something like you're talking about where it's hard to get people to come into your space, but they even have their own forum on Roll20 that allows you to, like, there's a looking for group forum. And it's right next to the support forums, and you could basically. And I thought about using it tonight but I felt like that was a bit too much to just build a new group out of the ether. But it is something that I think that people should try, right? Like it's you might meet some new friends. They might, of course, they're going to be somewhere else geographically, but at the very least, you get to play the game. I prefer people to be here, right? Like I like having a meal with people and hanging out, and there's something about having the session locally.
I like to make snacks, and then I like to have people eat the snacks that I make, so it's nice.
Right, and then I'm going to switch to this, right? And then so I discovered this today, which is it's 3D virtual tabletop. Now, but here's the cool thing, right? Is that this setup had been installed for this, or had done a Kickstarter, and they had a successful Kickstarter. So these guys made they made a fairly, I think it was like 1,000% successful. So they made a ton of money to do this. And the guy who's been working on this has been doing it basically as a full-time job. And they've been adding things like Fog of War and the stuff that we were using in Roll20 to make it useful for the room, so that as a DM I can.
That is a giant bear wearing armor.
That is a werebear. So, and werebears wear armor.
Does he do a werebear stare?
No. Well, that one has an eye patch, so he probably doesn't stare as much. CS Jackson, welcome. Thank you for following. Favorite game. What's your favorite game? What's my favorite game? What's your favorite?
You know what my favorite game is.
What is that?
What game am I constantly playing right now?
Well, I'm not talking about like the picture finding games, other games.
No.
It's technically a game.
World of Warcraft.
Oh, World of Warcraft, sorry.
Are we not? Shh.
Oh, yeah, yeah, like, she's also obsessed with the picture finding game, but it's not really a game.
No, it's
All
not
right,
a game. Hidden object games, by definition, are games.
All
They're
right, so
just
he no
different.
longer snaps. But see, this is the cool thing. You can, like, move them around, and, like, they face the direction you're moving them, right? And it's like, So we're gonna try using this.
Wait, so what's your favorite game right now? Because I answered. My favorite game right now is World of Warcraft, because I'm a loser.
Well, I probably play Hearthstone more than everything else,
Yeah.
but I'm no good at it. That's probably it.
Right now?
That's about it.
All right.
It's my poop game. It's when I go to the bathroom. It's what I play. Which,
Which is sad that is the game you've been playing more than.
Oh,
How often
okay,
are you
no,
pooping?
no. Okay, I'll admit it. It's probably actually it's been Call of Duty Advanced Warfare or Destiny, but I'm getting out of Destiny because Destiny's so. Anyway, D&D. You've been missing D&D. Why are you missing D&D? Plug and play for the win. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool. Like you can choose maps, like do the beckoning, and you can scale around and like. So this dude's a large creature, so and then I can remove him, and then like I can add a new one. What you got? And they got this giant library, huge library of creatures. Let's see what we want. There's all kinds of different lizard folks, which we had a bunch of lizard folks fighting before.
Is there a dire hippo?
Dire hippo?
A cave giraffe?
Okay, so those were creatures. Those aren't things.
Those
really.
are things I invented that I.
Those aren't things. How about a elf warrior and a dwarven warrior? And
This software that he's showing right now is 3D just called 3D Tabletop. Is that
It's called 3D Virtual Tabletop. It's available on iTunes and Android. It has an interesting thing, like, and I've been reading the forums because I've been looking at replacing Roll20 for our game. See, we determined that we want to be playing in person more than remotely, and the problem with Roll20 is that it's actually much better for everything being remote. So if you were gonna play a D&D game with 5 people that you couldn't normally play with because they were living other places, or like maybe someone's sick a lot. That's or somebody is like they can't get out of the house or whatever. It's a great way to do it. But we got to a point where we were kind of like we want to have people come in and play and kind of be in the same room. So, but I still wanted to have something visual, which would kind of help people to get their imaginations churning and like get immersed in the game. So this kind of was like the next one that we're looking at, and he's got some features that are coming up, like Fog of War, which means that like the players can only see what they can see on their screens.
So we can't see the whole layout.
And then there'd be like a DM view, and then you can join through. They have a server that basically connects live games with players, so you can play on like she could be on her Android phone, and I can be on the iPad, and then somebody else can be on an iPhone. So there's a lot of variety that can be used to play together. But it does lack some features, like you can't save games. You have to kind of like build it all in real time, and there's a lot of weird like little things that aren't. It's still not there yet, but it's simple and very easy to use. So there's this option too, and it has. Oh shoot! Oh, look at that! It's cute. It's a little baby dragon wormling.
Oh.
Little baby dragons.
Oh.
See? Boop.
Aww.
So.
It looks like it would hardly even kill you.
It would just kill you a little. It would just kill you a little. I don't know that if dragons are like vipers, where like baby vipers are like supposedly the most poisonous ones, and like if a baby viper bites you, you're like toast.
Right. Yeah, probably not the same. Although you are the DM, so if you decide it is that way, it can be that way.
That's a good point. It's pretty much whatever I want. Always remember that. If you're the DM, it's what you say, not what your players say.
Even when they go back to the guide and say, well, according to the guide, no.
No,
DM has final word no matter what.
Because then it's house rules, man. You just go to house rules, and it's up to you. It's up to you. Yeah, I haven't seen Fantasy Grounds, but yeah, this is once again 3D virtual desktop, and it's pretty cool. I haven't used it in game yet. We were going to try it tonight, but we'll try it again next time. we're gonna mess around with it a little bit, see how we can set it up. Because really, all it's for us is just to be able to visualize kind of the distance between people and the characters. So, you know, they don't even need to be like I don't need to have them in this at all times. But when you do have people remote, it does kind of become necessary. So now that's all I got there, man. All
These
right.
things are all handy. So if you're doing missionary work in Zimbabwe, you can play with your friend who's teaching English in Vietnam.
Right.
Although you have to figure out the time zone situation.
That would be kind of a pain in the ass. Zimbabwe to Vietnam. Oh God, that'd be horrible because
Yeah.
you'd be like
It opposite
as far away
ends.
as you can be because it would be like, you know, 8 hour gap, 8 hour gap, 8 hour gap. And yeah, the only way to be worse would be like have somebody in like the Caribbean as well.
Yeah.
And then like your last person in Hawaii. That'd be perfect.
But if everybody's in China, it's the same time no matter what.
Everybody is in China.
Well,
That's the way the world works.
yes.
Everyone is in China. I mean, statistically speaking, the rest of us are not. That's pretty much how that works.
That's a very true statement. Either you are in China or you're not in China. That is an absolute truth.
Right. Yeah, and then Chuckle. So like the other thing is that like you saw it a minute ago. We do have a battle mat, and that is right here. So this is our battle mat where I've got the miniatures laid out. We could still use this as our, you know, if I need to get up there with a dry erase marker and show off something that I can't do in the virtual tabletop. But the virtual tabletop, it gives us a great opportunity to just, you know, kind of throw something together and make it visual, and let people, you know, let people's imagination dig in a little bit. And I think that what I've noticed while using some of these virtual tools that other games that I've played haven't had has been that like players tend to kind of come to the same conclusions about things faster because they're sharing a more concise vision of what's going on. Because a lot of times, I think, you know, I've played games where people kind of they get really diverse in the way they want to approach a situation because what they're looking at in their head,
Well,
you know, they're
yeah.
only they're picking off certain details that are
Yeah, the theater of the mind idea is awesome, but people have way different views. And even with you drawing, when you were drawing out things very clearly on the map, we still had cases of people thinking one person thinks it's a cliff, one person thinks it's a waterfall, and they've been playing the whole game with that assumption in their head without once discussing
like what they
is
could
this
do with it or
feature.
how they
Yeah.
could like negotiate it.
So yeah, it's nice to have everyone have a clear vision of no, this is indeed a marsh, this is not a lake, this is, you know, so that is a nice advantage.
Yeah, I think it too. Like gives people the ability to kind of catch up with how do I put it? Gives people to kind of catch up with the theme. They don't get, you know, and it kind of keeps people in the theme, and they're not thinking about things that happened previously or getting too caught up in thinking about what might happen next, and it kind of grounds them in where they're at the moment. What's
And
your
let's be honest, some people just can't visualize a story as well as other people. So for those people, it's also beneficial to have these 3D prefab maps.
And before anyone says that those people shouldn't play Dungeons and Dragons, I disagree. I think those people are the ones that need Dungeons and Dragons in their lives. Speaking of, I'm going to try to look it up. There was an article, and I wonder if you can guess some of the things while I'm looking it up, but there was an article that came out about the healthful benefits of playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Huh.
Do you care to make a guess at what those might
Well, socialization, if, you know, people are indeed playing in groups, because that's something that I know fuddy-duddies have a big concern about, that, oh, these video games and their computers and people aren't social and they're not interacting in real life. And so if you have a legitimate group together, there is that. It's also, I would think, it keeps your mind quick. It keeps your mind able to function on different levels. It improves your math skills.
Math skills is actually one of them, I think. Socialization was there. The ability to visualize was a big
Yeah.
one, where they were talking about people could actually a picture, that they could imagine things a bit more. And then to people,
Hey, Copper.
Hey,
God.
hey,
Hey.
hey. What do you want? God, so needy. So, as I team building is actually one and two. All right, so
Yeah.
here we are. The surprising benefits of role-playing games. It's from Lifehacker, lifehacker.com. If they wrote a D&D article by Patrick Allen, and he says the benefits. It cultivates creativity, which I think we all knew, and then and telling a story apparently is a way to activate a lot of parts of our brain. Apparently. And then, of course, people think that, you will learn to tell a story better if you learn to play Dungeons & Dragons. I don't think that's true. I think that if you learn to DM, you'll definitely learn how to tell stories better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, you came up with a story about your character. That was an exercise,
Well,
right?
and that's, yeah. And everyone has to have a backstory so they know how to use their character and their character can be more engaging. I mean, the guys in our group have some really great stories and some fantastic characters. Most of them should be on T-shirts because we have some really great creative minds in our group. So they've come up with some really great stuff.
Yeah, and it's fun to play when you have people who are telling those stories in the group because it's like you're sitting around talking about like these crazy fantasy stories and like this adventure kind of. And the coolest thing about it is that a lot of the story develops as you go in a way that you can't predict in any way. Like you can only throw in your piece, but then all of this extra stuff kind of happens. And even if you wrote it, even if you're the DM, you can't guarantee that certain things are even going to happen or that it just doesn't work that way. Teamwork. It says teamwork. Has your party been playing as a team?
No, unless it involves everyone killing everything. That's
a form of teamwork.
I suppose that's a form of teamwork.
It is a form of teamwork.
Yeah, but
Killing
any
everything.
dissenting voice that says don't kill anything, kill everything, usually gets drowned out.
I have found it kind of funny. Like the missions that they're on right now are essentially about discovering what's going on in this like clandestine kind of situation, and at no point does anyone ever bother to like interrogate anyone or to like take a prisoner and bring them to the people that are hiring them. Nothing. Just kill every goddamn thing.
When the whole point has been to find information and kill everything.
Right. So teamwork doesn't really work that way. I think. But you guys have been bouncing around. Level 69 Copper, you are
12.
quite potentially. No Copper, you can't even go to level 69 in Dungeons & Dragons these days. It's level 20 is a max cap, all right? So just chill out with your 69ing,
Nice.
dude.
Nice.
That's right. I showed him.
Yeah.
So
Way to smack him. Apparently we need more domestic violence.
This isn't Punch and Judy.
Punch and Judy was creepy as hell.
I'm old.
I know.
Not that old though.
No. You're cultured. That's
Yeah.
That's all. Like yogurt or old cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, like wine, other thing. Listen, you want to see violence? Go to one of them shooter channels, buddy. You know where they're at. You know where to find them. But yeah, it's I think that level. You actually asked what level they're at. These guys are about 7 or 8. No, they're like 6 right now. But it's right at this critical point where we're starting to wonder about the balance of the game. They're currently in the horde of the Dragon Queen. Urban Farmer wants you to punch me in the mouth. See, ain't gonna happen, buddy. You basically can't like. It's hard to balance, right? And I'm actually learning as a DM how to get the balance back in check. And we did a round with the the basic set inclusion. There's like the basic set that comes in the box, and so we got that first because the books hadn't come out yet, and we did the Phandelver missions first, and everybody got to like level 4. So it means that when we did start the Horde of the Dragon Queen, we just smoked through everything, and like nothing
Yeah.
had any challenge.
In the group's defense, we were sort of accidentally killing everything for a while because there were too many of us, and we were way outmatching anything that was up against us. So
So yeah, so like the current challenge right now for us as a group is to get everything back in balance. I've been pulling DM prerogative and just not giving them any experience points. I wonder, is that why no one showed up tonight? They didn't get any experience.
because they're not getting experience points. Well, you did almost kill him last time, so
That's like a double whammy of bad.
yeah.
I am probably living up to the worst expectations.
But
of
I
any
give
DM.
them snacks, so that should make up for you trying to kill them all, right?
Yeah.
Right? Snacks make up for death, right? Yeah, I'm going with it.
Yep. So doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. So yes, Lifehacker had those super sweet, encouraging teamwork. It also teaches problem solving skills. Have you solved problems?
I suppose. Really? Problem solving skills? Because I feel like okay, I guess, but I feel like problem solving means you're trying to get to the one right answer, and there isn't one right answer in D&D at any point, but
Yeah, and the thing is too is that like you can't. It's not like you're actually learning how to do things logically because your DM could just magic some shit away from you.
right.
Right. So like
It's not
I would have to,
puzzle solving.
I would have to
It's-
contest that is a little bit of a light argument. Like it's
Yeah.
not problem solving. But I think it goes back to the teamwork thing. I think that it does get into like looking at what resources you might have and then move forward, right? Like I could do this. If you do this, we could do this together. And then that, it does some of that, but it doesn't do a lot of like, logic.
You should work some more riddles into your DMing. Then that
I
would be
should.
some problem solving.
It says playing is fun. Is that kind of like that's like the throwaway thing?
Yeah.
Come on, Lifehacker. We expected more out of your journalism. Playing is fun. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. No kidding.
Bullshit.
That's
You're a level 69 dick sucker.
well, we all
Alright.
need a hobby.
Everyone does need a hobby. It's too bad you're not getting paid for
I
it
was
yet.
just gonna say, it's a lot better if you can get paid for it, but
How to get started. And then there's some stuff about how to get started. But we know how to get started. The answer is go.
roll die.
Yeah, well, no, the answer is go to your local game store.
Well, yes.
And that's the point where I'm going to plug. Doo-doo-doo. Gamescape North.
And also, yeah, I would go to your local game shop if it's prohibitively expensive for you. Check out your used bookstores because you can find every once in a while, and it might be really old. It might be like second edition or something. Well, that would be kind of cool actually. But you could conceivably find some books at your used bookstore too.
Yeah, that's a kind of a funny place to look for. A used bookstore is actually a great spot to find like old D&D books. Like I used to have, and there's all these publishing rules too. Like I used to have a copy of the original Monsters Manual, like first edition Monsters Manual, and it had deities and demigods, and it had deities from books. Like it had Lovecraftian stuff, and it had stuff from Fritz Lieber's books, The Heroes of Lankmar. So it had like Fahard and the Grey Mouser in them and stuff as demigods. And those books they basically had to reprint them with those things removed because people claim copyright on those, even though
Right.
those stories are so old that they're probably out of public domain, or they're in public domain, but they had to redo those, and those books are very valuable. And there was also
I mean, everybody's co-opted Cthulhu at this point.
yeah, Lovecraft stuff is kind of whatever you want to do with that, but it was really the Fritz Lieber stuff that was the problem. But we actually played with those characters, with those monsters and stuff, and let's see, going back to the chat, it's like boner, 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 boner. Okay, so don't have a group and have social anxieties. That's a tough one, man. Social anxieties is the one. I think honestly, Dungeons and Dragons helps people get over social anxieties because you start to hang out with people who are kind of like in your own group, like they're your own thing. So you're kind of like able to be, you know, a real person with them and not have to hide behind a mask. And that's where and then you get to play behind some masks and experiment with that, and that kind of helps. So I think that one, that'll help you just to play the game, and then two, it's really, you know, you kind of got to get out there and make friends. I mean, maybe that's something that will be a good fit for you, is that Roll20 looking for a group, because you don't actually have to leave the house. You could hang out and interact with people, and maybe it's a good start for you if you have social anxieties, and I know you feel okay with at least meeting some people. They don't have to know where you're at, right? So,
the headset thing is because I'm connected to a thing that happens to be on this side of me, but he actually has a slider on his so that he can connect around the other side. Don't know why. Is it bothering you? Is
what?
Somebody want to know why our headsets are on different sides?
Yeah, it's a weird question. Parmesan is no. She's here because she's one of the players on the group, and neither of us are professional TV hosts. So, you know, she's not a she's a deep thinker, not a smooth talker. So Parmesan, shut it. All right, I'm gonna ask her questions then. What do you think of Parmesan, huh? Yeah, nah, never mind.
Yeah.
So addition, we are playing 5th. If you played 2nd, move straight to 5. You didn't play any of those, so you fortunately didn't have to. There are organisms in this game. I don't, you misspelled that, so I'm not going to bother answering the other way. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to be mod heavy, Chuck. So, I'm trying to be okay with it. Don't, it's not enough. I can still see the legit questions going by, so I'm all right. I think that party makeup, number of PCs, we have 5. Why don't you tell us about the party?
We have. Do you want to know all the characters that we have going on?
Yeah, tell me about each character, their race and class.
Okay. Okay. We have Thok, who is a half-orc barbarian. That's Eric, right?
That's Eric.
Yeah. And Thok's awesome. Thok kills everything. He's fantastic. Karhu is a dwarf alcoholic.
Yes.
Who is in the process of getting battle mugs made so that he can start destroying people out of his drinking chalices. So that's gonna be pretty sweet. We have I'm a halfling thief. So I'm incredibly stealthy and end up getting pushed in front of the group many times because I had really lucky rolls when I built my character, so I'm practically invisible.
And one of the so there used to be and like you didn't play it back this time. I think it was like 2nd edition. I think it was 2nd edition, and there was a build when the Oriental Adventures came out. Oriental's Adventures. We were racist, and it was okay once. So with the Oriental Adventures set, you could
That's what Orientals is things. Asians are people.
ornamentals. Yeah, really. Oh, anyway. So I hate even saying it. It's like, so times have changed. So but there was a build where you could build a wood elf ninja, and the wood elf ninja character, and there was like this special affinity for the race to do projectile weapons. You could throw like 6 shuriken at first level. You could throw 6 shuriken, and they would all do 1d4 damage. And then there was a way to double that. So you were doing basically 2d4 times 6 every attack at first level, and it was like the shit. So you're kind of experiencing that same kind of like weird unbalance.
Yeah.
Where it's like she basically gets an automatic, +12 bonus to anything related to stealth.
Yeah. and then I have extra attacks. I can basically attack somebody twice on most of my turns, and I can attack twice and then run and hide, so they can't even come back at me, which is awesome. Who else do we have? Oh crap, Ben.
Parmesan, if I put a shoe on my head and you don't ask a legit question, you know what, I'm going to put a shoe on my head anyway just because I will, but the fact is, in fact, I'm going to put the worst shoe ever on my head. Hold on.
One of mine?
No.
Okay. Yes, and yes, Dwarf Alcoholic is incredibly redundant, but I don't think we've done a game where he hasn't started and ended every move by taking a swig. Like, oh, that is the worst shoe ever.
Yep.
He's gonna keep trolling
There
though.
we go.
It's not
No,
really gonna make a
I'm
difference.
I'm gonna give him like 1 second. I'm gonna balance this here.
Okay. Can you balance
See,
it?
this is a matter of participation. There, look at
Okay,
that.
then.
All right, done. You didn't
Yes,
say how long, so we're done.
it's a shoe with toes, so it is the worst shoe
These are the greatest ever.
imaginable.
Anyway, too far off topic.
Yeah. But anyway, and yeah, I mean, for real, I have plenty of insight into the game. I'm not exactly sure why you decided to
Ignore that.
peg me out of that, but okay.
That's the gamer. That's the gamer thing. By the way, you know, we weren't able to start this week, but you know, I've worked in gaming. I've worked in gaming media. I've worked at GameSpot, IGN, other places. So I have a lot of colleagues who work in the game industry who are female. And that's the kind of thing that you know, like, sure, she's got nothing to say. Well, yeah, you're being quiet, I think, but I mean, again, you're not a TV host, right?
Yeah.
I talk a lot.
This is the first time I've ever sat and done a stream like this with you.
And I talk a lot.
And you do talk a lot.
And I talk over you, I'm sure. So the thing is, it's actually my problem, not hers. Anyway, the thing is that we're gonna have a show on Monday nights if you come back around. We're actually going to Skype in to a number of people that I know. They're all going to be female if you can't handle that, but they're actually going to be people who are about, like, they're all in the game industry. They're all have had those experiences, and if you want to hear their opinions and their stories and their records.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Cool.
That's going to be really cool. And that's Mondays.
I know, Chuck. You know, see, this is the thing. It's gonna be Mondays. Yes, the answer is Mondays. Chuck, here's the thing, man. Is that no, I will feed the trolls just for a moment. See where they go. I still do have the band hammer. The band hammer is just fine. It's right here. I can pick it up anytime, and do what I need to do. See that one? See that one right there? That one is done.
Oh yeah, that's done.
So but we can go further with that. From this point forward. Anyway, so we were talking about where
Well,
were
the
we?
rest of the characters.
The rest of the characters. So
Yeah.
So
I got to Ben.
did you get to Mordecai?
No, Mordecai. Mordecai's got a great story too. So, what's his shoot? What's Mordecai's character?
Mordecai is a warlock. He's a half-drow warlock.
Half drow though. That's what I was. Yeah.
I
yeah.
said a warlock.
And Mordecai's got, I think, the most in-depth backstory too. He's got some great spells, and that's another problem is like, with Mordecai and Thok, well, and Karhu too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just have spells that can freeze a dozen.
Thok doesn't have them.
Oh, not Thok.
Bjorn has those.
Oh, Bjorn.
We haven't talked about him yet.
No, Thok is just a badass.
So yeah, so Thok is a badass. He's a
Yeah.
barbarian, so he just plows through everything. The problem though, and you just asked the question. Okay, so yeah, I got you knocked Noctilatum 3.5. All right, we'll go back to that in a second. All right, buddy. So the thing is that, like, oh, God damn it. The hard part is being the moderator and the host at the same time. So you know, you talk about power players. We do have a druid who is kind of like on that power player side, because the druid rules, the way that damage works when you're in animal form is just ridiculous. Like, we've seen him absorb tons of damage.
Yeah.
And he just kind of, you know, he just keeps on taking it and going. Also, as you were saying, like, he's the one that has like the area spells, if you want to go into that, like you were saying.
Yeah. So yeah, he can lock everybody up in thorns, so that even if they attempt to make a move, they just they end up shredding themselves. Like we have some serious spells in our group that make the play a lot easier, but I think more challenging is sometimes better. And he's going to do his best to sort of beat us up a little bit more in the future because, yeah, it's fun to get through a campaign
Yes,
and but it's fun to get through a campaign and be like, hey, we all made it out alive, and I don't have that many hit points to spare to begin with, but it would, yeah, we definitely we need to be challenged more, and that is forthcoming.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean the biggest thing is that they did do the Phandelver adventure before we went into the Horde. So, you know, the problem is really that you know, you guys were already too high a level at the beginning. Like, by the time we get down to Horde, you're supposed to be like level 6, and you're already like level 5. So we're not even at the end of Horde yet. So like in this last chapter, you're supposed to be getting to level 6. So you're gonna finally start to get to the point where you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be painful.
I'm gonna die. I'm totally gonna die.
Yeah. So CS Jackson, he is doing that. It's You're welcome. I'm glad for participating. Your participation, Parmesan. So anyway, you basically these guys. He does try to tank. He tries to do everything, which is a challenge that I can't. You know, I think that it's too much for any one person to try to do. But he's been handling it, and that's the problem for me as a kind of the DM and storyteller. Like wiping everything out with an area effect spell and then throwing spears into the mix and everything else. And it's like, yeah, it's just not. It's pretty hard to counter that, like unless I kind of wing stuff. And then when I was doing stuff like I was adding mage characters in to like random encounters just to try to give them more of a challenging mix, and they were wiping them out too. So
Yeah,
that's
we
where
have
the point was.
we have a great mix of characters to work from. We can kind of handle everything. Well, and I came in a little bit later too, so my position was pretty much spelled out for me before I even made my character. It was what's missing in the group, and what was missing in the group was a rogue, was, you know, somebody stealthy. Most of these guys are big bumbling
Yeah, I mean it's yeah.
fools.
It is, and they're all, yeah, and all of them have like a nickname of the bear at some point too. Like there's some like the Big Gay Bear Club or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, Christoph, we're discussing fifth. Okay, so going back a bit, 3.5. You know, we are playing fifth edition, but like 3.5 is all right. Like I felt like it was kind of a weird, like, you know, it was like a weird like half step forward from 3. But like you know, that was a period of time when I wasn't playing as much as I probably liked, and going all the way up to like 4 and D20, and everyone moved over to Pathfinder because Pathfinder was the thing. I never really liked Pathfinder or D20, to be honest, because it was too numbers focused. And when you started getting into like I think that after second edition and everybody stopped playing second edition, I was more into like the Worlds of Darkness stuff, which is like the vampire, and you know about those games like Vampire and Werewolf and Wraith and all that, and those were fun. It also kind of coincided with like a weird goth phase for me. So
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say I was kind of a goth girl.
yeah, so you know they kind of worked. But then the cool thing about those games were really that they let you stop, where you know you stop worrying about the numerical values of the game, and you actually got into the story side of the game and like your character's backstory and all that shit. So it was more fun for that. But you know, when everything got too numerical, it wasn't really exciting. The cool thing about 5e is that it does allow you to step back a bit, and then if you don't know how something turns out, it's really simple. You just go, okay, I don't know really how to resolve this, so like I'll give the monster disadvantage and I'll give the person advantage or whatever, right? And then you just go, you cruise on, and you try to get the story straight instead of worrying about the numbers. Yeah, CS Jackson. So like they're just in. I don't even know what chapter they're in. Hold, please.
Should I sing "Girl from Ipanema" while you?
No. answer the question, are you using Battlemat Focus or handling it straight out of the player's handbook? I explained that question. I think I understand what you're asking. A DMG Battlemat Focus or handling it straight out of the player's handbook. We started doing everything out of the player's handbook because the DM guide hadn't been out yet. But a lot of it has been like, you know, whenever I feel like I don't really want to. Whenever I feel like it's not quite going the direction that I want it to, like I'll pull DM prerogative and just kind of change the game for a second. Hold on a second, but ask that question once again, and a little bit different. And I'll try to make sure I answered it if I didn't answer it that time.
Where are you going?
I'm going here. Just a moment, everyone. You could tell them a story, though.
I should tell them a story?
Well, I am just a meager dungeon master.
But you have finished your quest. So.
I have. I've arrived. Doo-doo.
Oh, wow.
What?
Well, Kristoff, they started at level 1 in Horde of the Dragon Queen and were nearly wiped out multiple times.
Yeah.
But we have so many players too.
Yeah, we have 5 players. How many players do you have in your group? Because that's like kind of a kicker.
And we're good at staging ourselves so, you know, whoever can take the most hits is in position to take the most hits and everybody else sort of follows behind. Which is why it's also nice to have a player that can turn into a giant bear or alligator or wolf or... Ooh, is this fast forwarding to stuff I'm not supposed to know about?
No, well, I'm not going to discuss it, and neither is our friend C.S. Jackson. But yes, we're playing Horde of the Dragon Queen currently, and that's the one we're currently in. If you go and look at our archived nights, you'll see some of the stuff we've done already. But we're actually right at the beginning of 6, so and they've kind of like already circumvented a couple things, and I made it a little bit tougher. Mordecai almost died last time. In fact, if you bear with me, I will show you my. Oh. Thank you, Twitch Troller. Let's see, Kristoff. 4-man team. Yeah, because like
Thank you.
yeah, because the thing is that like you know that was really the immediate thing that I could tell is because they would go into situations that would have large swarms attacking them, and they would just area affect everything, and everything would be knocked out or dead, and they would just walk through it. So we did try to throw some dangerous stuff, but last time when we played, they had the Shambling Mound, and you weren't here for this.
Yeah, I missed this.
But actually, there was a random encounter in the swamp when they were on their way from the roadhouse to the castle. Now, the thing about that is that, like, you know, when they were on their way, there's a lot of things that could happen, and like there was this whole path of taking them next to a dragon, and like there's plenty of opportunities as a DM to like make it really, really tough. But I tried to make it tactically difficult, and that was by making Shambling Mound team up with some Will-o'-the-Wisps, which have electrical attacks, which heals Shambling Mounds. So they would actually just shock the shit out of the Shambling Mound, and it would gain hit points every round from those attacks. So they pretty much had to like attack it and kill it all in one blow, which was tough because it has like had like 180 hit points or
Oh
something.
wow.
So there was a moment when it almost killed Mordecai because it engulfed him, and then he takes damage every round while it's holding on to him. And he can't do anything. And he was the most dangerous one to the Shambling Mound because like all of the big spells that Karhu has are electrical based. So it was kind of a custom tailored.
My 20 arrows probably wouldn't have done a whole lot to help.
Yeah, no, I got you, Parmesan. I got you, buddy. You know, you haven't actually been a real troll. You're actually participating, which I like. So all right.
That is not, however, a challenge or invitation in any way.
True.
That is more thank you for being a rational, reasonable human being.
Rise of the Rune Lords. Haven't played that. No, Mixor, like D&D is funny. Like you can really play with it a little bit, right? Like you could take any of these series like Horde of the Dragon Queen, and something that we used to do with old, like back in the day, we used to take old modules, and something that you can do is kind of do a little bit of research and grab the monster manual and the Dungeon Master's Guide and sit down and carve it up a little bit and make your own thing out of it. So you can still tell the same story that occurs in the module and do it in a way that doesn't necessarily immediately kill your team, but you kind of have to get an idea for what the story elements are. Were you with the group when we had the two assassins in the inn on the road? No, you weren't in that part either.
No.
She's here sometimes.
I have a job.
So there was like a scene in one of them where they encountered these two assassins in an inn, and it was kind of a side thing, but you know, they could have been. I could have nerfed it for their level, or I could have made them more powerful. And really, that's your job as the DM anyway. So it depends on how much work you want to do.
Nerfed? Is that what? So
Nerfed.
softening it, nerfing it? Oh, okay.
You play World of Warcraft. You don't know nerf?
I haven't actually seen that used in. It's not like I talk to people in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, nerfing is the established, term
For softening the blows.
for softening the blow.
Yes, I get it.
So,
Why would you ever do that in World of Warcraft?
yes, not to let them. It is Rise of Tiamat is the exact next step. So, the two sets. So basically, there's two books in the Tyranny of Dragons set: Rise of Tiamat and Horde of the Dragon Queen. Horde of the Dragon Queen is for 1 to 6, and Rise of Tiamat is 6 to 12, I think. And
So that one's scary.
yep, Horde or Alliance? You see the question?
Oh, Horde.
Horde.
Horde. I have one Alliance character, but I haven't really done anything with her. I'm actually a Blood Elf Fire Mage. Which I managed.
He said, "Is that your dad?" Boo. Anyway,
My dad would be awesome on a stream, though.
of course she's a blood elf. Look at her hair. Look at her hair, dude. Do you not see that? Of course she's a blood elf. Don't be silly. So, all right. So it's kind of getting a little bit late. We just wanted to get on. But you know what, guys? I was really excited because I worked on it like all week. I'm going to show you the intro to the show that we're going to start doing each week. And it's a little video intro, and it tells the story that we were previously, that kind of wraps up the story that we had. And then it kind of introduces where they're at for the next one. It is my crappy artwork. So please understand that it's nothing, it's not like I didn't hire an artist. It's still just, our crew and the way that we do things. So let me get this set up here real quick, and I will. Do. All right, we gotta be quiet when it plays because okay. Or you can talk to them. Anyway, guys, here we go. So I present to you, when I get my shit together, I present to you the wrap up for next week. And of course, my audio is not working. Just a moment, fellas. It's supposed to be doing audio. All right, hold on a second. Pausing that. Boo. Okay, you guys won't get to see it this time. I know. You guys are just shattered. You guys are just shattered that that's not going to happen. But yeah, for some reason, I can't get that to work. My audio is busted. It was working fine earlier. But you'll have to wait to see that. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is AVS Gaming on YouTube, there should be a link down in the on the Twitch page. You can totally see our wrap up. It's basically just me introducing some facts about our group and telling you what happened last time and what's going to happen next. So, let me answer the last couple Twitch things.
Yes, Car Wars is super old school.
Car Wars is super cool, but you know what, man? We tried to play Car Wars one time on stream, and we hadn't played in years, so the relearning of those freaking rules was pain. It was pure pain.
That took forever.
So hopefully we'll be able to play again sometime soon and actually do it quickly and with some experience so that you guys don't get pain. And I sorry to say, Herb Pipes, no, we did not finish D&D. We're just kind of chatting with folks. Unfortunately, our group couldn't convene today. So one more time, we are going to reconvene with D&D 2 weeks from now, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. So be here 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday after next, and we'll be here. Next Wednesday, though, we're going to play Talisman. So if you like Talisman, from Games Workshop, if you ever played that, that is what we're going to do next week. And it's the second edition rules. It's an amazing set. I highly recommend it. It's super fun. Looking for some artwork so you can recognize it. Do. I'm gonna get something super soon.
Sweet.
So there you go.
There we go.
Talismans. That's what we're playing next week, and on Wednesday at 8 p.m. to 10. Thanks, guys. So anyway, yeah, no Matchbox cars taped down. But then it's it's about scale, right? So you could actually throw some scale in there. Matchbox cars are like 4 or 5 times too big for Car Wars, but you can scale up your map too. So anyway, next week, Talisman, and you can totally come join us 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So CS Jackson, I need you on. I need you on the team, man. We could figure out some ways to do these things better. But come back, and if you want, next time we do a board game at the end of the night, so that's next Wednesday. At the end of the night, you can vote for Car Wars again, and we can make Mr. Chris Turnus, who's our buddy there. We can force him to relearn the rules again. Anyway, thanks a lot. Have a great night. Thanks for coming. Thanks for following. Again, I apologize that the group couldn't get together. I hope that we were able to talk about some of the topics that interested you tonight. And again, we're getting closer to having some duplicates in those miniatures. So we will be able to give those out to our followers very soon. And we look forward to playing with you next time.
Thanks.